Hey everyone, this is Tamara with Henna by Aurora. I'm going to make a video today for you guys on how to make your own fresh natural henna paste. We've already got the henna powder in here. This is fresh Jamila Body Art quality henna powder. And like I said, it's 1/4 cup or 20 grams. After that, we're going to mix in some sugar. I live in Texas and it has to be super sugary or we have all kinds of drying, cracking problems. So I'm going to use 1.5 tablespoons of raw sugar. It doesn't have to be raw sugar, but I use raw sugar, raw cane sugar, because I'm vegan, so I don't use the white sugar. Okay, after that I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to mix in the powder and the sugar a little bit, just get it a little more evenly distributed. Okay, and then I'm going to add 1.5, see if you can see it there, 1.5 teaspoons of lavender essential oil. This is a high altitude Bulgarian lavender. And then I'm going to end up with about 1/4 cup of water, but I'm going to start out with 1/8 cup right now and then mix in, this is distilled water. I start small because depending on the weather and the environment, sometimes 1/4 cup is too much, sometimes it's too little. I also like to let my henna dye release before putting in the full 1/4 cup, so that way if I want to add the lemon juice to help preserve the paste just a little bit better, or if I need to add a little more water, a little more sugar to thin it out, I can do that. So this obviously is not enough, and I'm going to need to add a little bit more, but again, I'm not going to use the full 1/8 cup now. I'm just going to use maybe just shy of 1/8 cup. If it needs more, we can always add more. Now also, as the sugar melts, the texture of the paste will change. The sugar does help make the paste less thick. It helps it stick to the skin and it helps thin out the paste. So we could probably still do with a little more water in here. Even after the sugar melts, this is still going to be pretty thick. We want it thin enough to ribbon, so that's going to require just a little bit more here. So this is probably about 1/4 cup. So this is what we consider a small batch. 20 grams would be a small batch. And if you live locally and you bought one of my kits, all of these ingredients are pre-measured except for the water. So you can go ahead and pour all of the ingredients together, stir it up, and then add your water as needed to get the consistency you want. Again, you're going to end up with about 1/4 cup of water, sometimes more, rarely less, but it all just depends on the weather. So this is a pretty decent consistency pre-dye release. The sugar is going to melt too, so the texture is going to change a little bit more after all that sugar melts in there. The raw sugar does seem to take a little bit longer to break down than regular white sugar, because the crystals are a little thicker. However, I would not use powdered sugar. Do not use powdered sugar in your paste. Powdered sugar has cornstarch in it, and cornstarch is a thickening agent. So it will actually do the opposite to your paste. It will thicken your paste. And some people, like myself, have cornstarch allergies, so that could pose as a different problem. So this is a pretty good texture. So now that that's done, I'm gonna clean off my spoon a little bit. Yes, it does make a mess. Yes, it will turn your finger orange if you don't clean it off. And then I'm just gonna take some press and seal wrap, and I'm gonna put that over top of this. Take out a lot of the air. I'm gonna push all the way down to the paste. And right now I don't have any lemon in it, so the lemon's not going to slow down the dye release time. If you want to put a little lemon juice in it to preserve it, I personally wait until after my dye release, so that way it doesn't affect the time. And then I just add like maybe a tablespoon. But if you do that, you want to leave your paste just a little bit thicker. Otherwise, you're going to end up with a super runny paste. Okay, so this is ready. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna pop it in the oven with no temperature. I'm just gonna have the oven light on and that's it. All right, so here's my paste right here. I'm gonna pop it in the oven here. Again, the oven is not on. I'm just gonna put it next to the oven light back here. That's gonna keep my paste at around 75, 80 degrees. And I'm gonna leave it in there for the duration of the time I'm waiting for dye release. Dye release on a batch this small is usually around 5 hours. You want to leave your paste in there for about 5 hours to let it dye release, and I will show you how to check that when it's done.